South Dakota was up 28-14. YSU battled back in the fourth quarter. Got the ball back with about 4 minutes to go inside their own 10 and couldn't move it. Punted the football away, and Strebler, the quarterback, got him down there, kicked the field goal, game, set, match. 31-28. Offensive line gave up 6 sacks. They had a spy on Nathan Mace, who really ran well against South Dakota State. So,
Do they miss Hunter Wells?
well, I don't know because Nathan Mays is a better runner.
Yeah.
I think Hunter's a better passer. It would be nice to mix them all together, and I think you get that in Ricky Davis, to be quite honest. But I mean, they had a 4th and 12, 4th and 13, had a fake punt, and that didn't go anywhere. So they tried some things, and I know Coach was upset the way they played, and he took responsibility at the press conference today. He says, "Look, I watched the tape. We weren't ready to play. That's on me."
How much has Bo impacted the program?
I think tremendously. I think getting that name and the players we talked to say they love playing for a guy like that. And if you look at it, Gary, his staff hasn't changed much in the 3 years he's been here, and I think that's been a consistent factor in all this because that coaching staff and the coaching staff recruiting.
It's a young staff
I
too.
think it's he's got Shane Montgomery and his brother Carl
yeah,
who are
okay.
in
Then a lot of
their
younger.
late 40s, but a lot of guys who have some ties to Pelini.
Bo.
I mean.
Loyal.
Joe
Timmy
Gans,
Marlowe.
Joe Gans, Timmy Marlowe, those guys, and I think that's been the consistent factor in all this is that staff for 3 years now has remained the same.
Can they survive a loss this week?
I think so. I think the Missouri Valley Conference is so competitive, and I know there's a lot of comparisons. It's the SEC of the FCS level. I just think the league is so competitive. Gary, it won't surprise me they get 5-6 teams in the postseason.
Really?
I mean, I just think it's so competitive, and it's and I asked Coach today. I says, Coach, this is a tough stretch. This is your 3rd game against a top 10 team. Have you ever gone through a stretch like this? And he goes, they're all tough. Now, the nice thing about the schedule this year, it's front loaded with all the quality teams. Later on in the season, you're going to play your Missouri States, and it's not backloaded. And you remember back in several years ago where they went winless in November,
Yeah.
and it cost them playoff spots. This
Sure.
year, it's kind of reversed. So they get the better teams in the front of the season.
From your eyeball perspective, are we the 2nd, 3rd best team in the league right now? Do you think?
I don't know. I think
see
you're up there.
North
I haven't
Dakota
seen
State?
North Dakota State, and I've heard this is their best team they've had. So
Defensively, I heard too.
Yeah, and again, it will be a test, but YSU beat South Dakota State at home, and I didn't see that coming. I mean, this team came in, so that kind of moved them up. Then you have a setback a little bit, so it's going to be very interesting to see what team shows up this week for Youngstown State. I think they'll be ready to play. It's a night game. It's. I think they got a shot.
Can you clear up a rumor that game day was maybe going to come to town?
I was told game day, if YSU won on Saturday, it would have pitted number 3 against number 2, Youngstown State against North Dakota State. Now, game day is going to James Madison, where it's number 1 against 11 against
Wow.
James Madison
So
against Villanova.
they're going subdivision anyway.
So what's the better matchup, 2 or 3? I mean,
and you threw a couple carrots in there.
Well,
Carson Wentz.
I was told Carson Wentz, Ron Jaworski could have been part of all this, and they would have had the set set up on the soccer field
That'd be
with the
unbelievable.
stadium in the background,
Nice.
and ESPN comes in and does their everything, and not to put salt in the wound, but ESPN was at James Madison doing interviews today for the show on CNN.
Nice. Wow, I might have went there instead of watching a Buckeye game then.
Oh, you should go to Youngstown.
They're on the road in Nebraska, so
You should
I'll
go to
be
Youngstown.
home and
I'll just
I'll be.
continue
I
to
think
say-
I'll be tailgating though. Does
I'll
that
just-
count?
No,
No?
You got to be in because you're like a lot of other fans. You go to the tailgate, but you don't go to the stadium.
I did that last
Yeah.
home game.
You got to go into the stadium. That's all part of it. That's where the game is played.
Are you a fan? Do you allow yourself to be a fan?
Well, I think you are a fan because you're so close to the team.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not part, but I deal with Coach every week, and go to his press conference and then do the TV show. So I'm close to the program. I like Bo. I think Bo's a terrific coach. I mean, I know the persona of Bo is that he's grumpy and all that, and he is. Okay, he is. Okay, but that's the way he is. He's always been that way. And Gary, I mean, look at Nebraska. I mean, he was grumpy,
Yes.
but he won.
Salty, yeah.
So do you want a grumpy,
Yeah,
salty coach who
without
wins,
question. No
or a
question.
coach who's and doesn't win?
I agree.
And I think he doesn't care because I don't think he has to care. And I mean that in a good way. I mean, he's going to do things his way. He's going to do what he thinks is best. And it all comes down to winning because he hates to lose. I mean, he was grumpy today because he lost on
Did you make the news today?
No, I didn't say anything. He was in a grumpy mood.
He usually quotes you
I
quite
was
a
gonna,
bit.
I was going to ask him about the Indians, but I said I better not.
Are you a Buckeye fan? Do you admit it or
I'm
not?
a fan of the program.
Of the program.
The program.
You don't like Urban Meyer?
I'm not a fan of the coach.
Why?
I just, I don't know what it is. There's just something about him that I just don't. I just think I don't know. I'm not
Because he's not Jim Trussell?
I was not a fan.
Who I love both of them.
I was not a fan of Urban even when he was at Florida.
Utah.
Well, not so much. I didn't
You
know.
didn't
I
know
mean,
him.
Bowling
Okay.
Green, Utah, I know that. But when he played in those national championship games, I mean, maybe I just saw a side of him outside the game that a lot of people can't see. Just got the opinion. I respect him. I respect what he does.
National champions are two schools.
Absolutely, I respect it. But he's would I go see him speak somewhere? Probably not.
Well, on assignment you would.
I would, yeah, and that's basically what I'm doing all the time. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, there's just some people that that you just I respect what he does, but am I his number one fan now?
But you like seeing Ohio State win, if possible.
If their schedule would improve, I mean, let's face it, the last 5 weeks they've been glorified scrimmages.
Okay, but they needed that at
Well,
the time.
come on, you're in week 6 already. You're playing glorified.
We got Penn State
scrimmages.
coming up now.
Okay,
That's-
but I mean, and I give them credit. Okay, they put Oklahoma on the schedule, but come on, UNLV. I mean, Army or Navy, whoever they play.
Well, it happens.
I mean, come on. I mean, I know they have to get it for home. And Gary, the same thing with YSU.
Yeah.
I mean, Central Connecticut State and Robert Morris.
Yeah, I mean-
play one of those. Don't exactly. It's at every level, but it's glorified scrimmages. Come
Yeah,
on.
okay. We'll go with that. High school, that's the big thing here. You guys are always out on the road, active, seeing all your reporters at the games that I go to. What impressed you so far? What was Mooney? What was that all about?
Well, Mooney lost on the last second field goal to Bookdale.
10-8 or something like that?
10-9.
10-9?
And I guess there were a couple of penalties. First of all, Mooney scored and the extra point was blocked. And then I think there was a couple of penalties that have Bookdale down the field. They kicked a 29-yard field goal at the Gardner win at 10-9
At the time expired.
as time expired. Yeah. So
You can't lose a game like that.
I think no, you can't. If you're Cardinal Mooney, you can't, especially in that region.
That's an Akron City school.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to take anything away from it, still, because I've followed Akron, especially from Chris Wells when he played Akron Garfield. I keep an eye on it.
Well,
you can't lose
I
a
think when you
team
look
like that.
when you look at schedules, you kind of mark down win, lose, win.
That's
And-
a win.
and that's a win.
That's not even a question mark.
Absolutely.
When you're marking the season, that's a win.
Exactly.
Now they got to win.
Well, now they got to win because they got Harding this week.
Harding.
On Thursday, I believe.
Then Ursuline and Fitch.
And then Ursuline and Fitch. They're sitting at what, 3 and 4?
Let's give them a win at Harding. We'll give them a win at Ursuline. Ursuline's just struggling. They beat themselves up.
But I think
even it's a rivalry
But
game.
I think in a rival game.
I
like
agree,
that,
but I think
it just depends what happens this week. I mean,
Ursuline's going to get beat up by Boardman.
see, but again, you just don't know what Ursuline team's going to show up.
But they're going to no. You kind of do.
Well,
the good ones they don't
but
show
see,
up.
Boardman's been up and down too.
Yeah, they have.
So you have two up and down teams. You don't know who's
I'm
gonna
going
finish
with
it.
Boardman on
Okay,
that
well,
one.
I'll make my picks later.
Okay. But so they got Ursuline and
Mooney has Harding, Ursuline,
and
Fitch.
And Fitch could be a tough.
Fitch
They
could-
played Boardman the week before.
And again,
that's a rivalry
and again,
game.
You're coming down the home stretch. You're in turn 4 now of the season, and I talked to 2 coaches today who don't pay attention to the playoffs. And that's what they tell me.
You
but
have
come
to,
on,
though.
come on.
That's
They
all
don't
you
pay
play
attention
for.
to what we do, who we pick, and
Yeah.
we never pay attention to that. And I'm the first one that let us know you were wrong.
I always look at the picks for to see what because I know you do your homework, Dana.
Well, you know what, Gary? Here's what I do.
But
When
sometimes we disagree,
I
and I'm
know.
thinking, why is he picking that team?
when I get the picks, I do it within 5 minutes because if I think
just
about
first
it,
glance.
Because if I think about it, then I screw it up.
Oh, see,
prime example: South Range and Sharon last week. I thought Sharon was the best team that South Range would play.
Yeah.
and they very well could be. I thought Sharon would go in there and beat them. I really did. I picked
I
Sharon to
didn't.
win.
I didn't.
I talked to Jim Wildman, the coach at Sharon, and he goes, "What do you think about South Range?" I says, "They're a good team." I says, "But I think you guys could go in there and beat them because I don't think they have faced the caliber of players that you've faced." Ball bounced the right way. South Range wins the game.
But they got weapons. Remish is a weapon.
He has a weapon, and so is the receiver. And
They-
Mazzacco is one. I don't want to say he's one of the best quarterbacks in the area, but he's up there.
I don't know if they have enough though.
And again, I don't think if any team in the area.
Can they win a region?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think when you get.
I think they can.
I think their schedule, because we don't know about. Okay, they played Zanesville. How good Zanesville? We don't know. Okay, and
Aren't
you
they a
look-
perennial?
Well, you don't
good
know.
team?
They have Kenmore, Garfield, whoever.
Yeah.
Okay, this week.
Yeah.
They have Sharpsville.
That's
They have
terrible
Sharpsville
team.
in week 10, who again
Who might
you
not
just don't-
play.
Well, they are going to play, I think, Gary,
Are they?
because I think Division 2 and Division 3 are. I think over in Pennsylvania, certain teams play the following week, but I just don't know how good South Range's non-conference schedule is, or their schedule is not non-conference. How good their schedule is. Okay, they've proven themselves. Okay, I think that's a big. You asked me what's the surprises. I think the surprise is the weakness of teams that we have in this area.
I agree with you.
I mean, you know.
I agree with
You look at some of the teams, and again, you have to look at the list. The majority of teams that we have are divisions 4, 5, 6, and 7, or maybe even 5, 6, and 7.
Four.
You know, and
Four is the big division.
And I just think, you know, a lot of people perceive this area to be a good. I'm not. It is a good high school, but it's not great.
Decent high school football.
know,
Decent
it's-
coaching.
and
Decent
again,
high school.
You will get a true test of that when these teams go into the playoffs, and I expect 11, 12 teams to make the playoffs.
Top of your head, who's the best team in the area right now? Top of your head.
Well,
Come
right
on,
now,
come on,
I
come
would
on.
think Canfield.
Ooh, over Poland.
I would think Canfield. I think Canfield.
Now, isn't that when we're saying, no offense, when we're saying Canfield and Poland are the two best teams in this area,
Well,
that's not characteristic of
I
what
think,
we need.
I think first of all, Gary, when you talk about Canfield and Poland, and again, I think Poland has. I think Poland.
Poland can run the table.
I think Poland
Regular
wins
season.
this game against Lakeview on Friday, but I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to be simple. I think this game's going to go in the third quarter. I think Poland will wear him down.
Pavlansky can do some things
And
to
he's
equalize the game.
I talked to a longtime veteran coach several years ago. A longtime veteran coach, and I asked him, "Who's coaching?" I says, "Who's the most difficult coach to prepare for?" And without hesitation, he said, "Tom Pavlinsky."
I hate to say this, I like the whole Pavlansky family. I think if you put Tom Pavlansky at Canfield, they can do some things. Just because they're a little more wide open.
I think
At
Mike's-
Pavlansky,
okay,
you never know where Pavlansky.
well, I think Mike's more conservative.
Yes,
Okay, I
that's
think-
my point.
And I think Tom, yeah.
I
but-
think Tom, you never know where it's coming from.
But
He could hit you with anything, run past, and that's what I like. You know.
but I wish they would play each other.
Yeah, why
But
not?
that won't happen.
They can't do it.
It won't happen.
No.
It won't
See,
happen.
again,
It
why?
It won't happen,
Those are
Gary,
the kind of games you want.
because of the enrollment levels, which is causing more turmoil.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean,
This-
don't be.
this area is a bunch of
Gary,
crybabies.
Don't be surprised.
People who schedule this area are crybabies. That's all I'm going to
Poland
say.
and Canfield are going to play in week 10, and they're going to play next year. Whether they play the year after that is, I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, this isn't the last year?
Next year
Well,
because there's
it's in the middle of the season, though.
no. Next year's week 10.
Oh, is it?
Week
I thought
10.
this was it. Okay, my bad.
But after, I don't think they'll play. I don't
That's
think they'll
just
play.
terrible.
Because
Poland won't play Mooney. Poland won't.
and again, it comes down to schedule. It comes down to who you want to play, and is it worth playing.
But we're talking to a team like Girard. They can go 10-0. Dana and might. They're going to be on the road probably for sure.
They
Am I
will be on
wrong?
the- They will be on the road.
And if they lose the Liberty, they might not even make the
But
playoffs.
again, Gary, it's
Well,
the schedule they play. Okay,
I
Girard's in
agree.
the conference. Okay, and that's going to change.
And they're a good team, but they're not
Look,
challenging themselves.
Look, it's like South Range. Okay, South Range, and I think the Sharon game was the most complete game they played.
They
Because
played good. I
haven't-
was at that game.
They
Yeah.
haven't been in a tight game. So what happens when you get into the postseason? And look at it. They're going to bury Garfield. Okay, and I don't know who they play week 9, and I don't know who they play. Sharpsville 10. They play St. Clairsville. So South Range could run the table and not be in games. Girard's the same way. Girard's given up 7 points in the last 5 games.
That's
So
not
when
gonna
you-
happen
When you
in-
get into a tight game, how do you respond?
And we saw the Poland Girard scrimmage, Dana.
I'm shocked. I was shocked. I mean,
Poland chewed them up.
they did. They did. But I just think, do we have a team that can make a run? I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. Right
I don't
now.
know.
I mean, I think JFK, because I reviewed JFK's season. When JFK beat Mogador, I think Coach Bayek knew he can go to the title game. Not win
Because
it,
he got
but
pounded the year before against Mogador.
but that's the way it works. The draw got to be right. You got to get in the right spot. And in D4 Region 13, I mean, there could be 6 area teams in that region, along with Perry and Steubenville, who's probably going to be the 1-2 seed.
Now we have Chet Allen and we have Sean Guerrero here representing Liberty and Springfield local. Springfield, did you expect that win over Western?
No,
Was it Western
no,
Reserve?
no.
Especially the way they did it.
I thought and I talked to.
That's a big win, right,
talked-
for them?
Absolutely.
Program win.
I talked to Coach Guerrero week 3 when they were 0-2, and he told me week 3 against Columbiana was a must-win for them, and they beat Columbiana. Since that time, Columbiana hasn't lost. I know that's Columbiana County football. And
Yeah, well, I saw Columbiana and Western Reserve.
Okay, and Columbiana plays Lisbon this week. Okay, and again, look at Lisbon.
And Lisbon loses to Valley
Valley
Christian.
Okay, and they have
What's
run
that
the
all
table.
about?
So that's what I mean. You
Well,
just,
Valley Christian just lost this past
they
week.
got beat by Rootstown, who's undefeated.
Okay, so they lost to a good team.
Yeah, well, Rootstown's undefeated, but
Okay.
I think it's so hard to predict whether we will have a team playing in the finals. Last year we had 11 teams.
Do we expect JFK to do this?
I think
last year?
Well, again, you got to keep in mind, Coates was hurt the entire
Yeah.
year, came back week 10, and again, they just hit their stride at the right time, and that's what coaches will tell you, Gary. You've been around long enough. You just got to be playing your best. Okay, you look at the competition of some of the undefeated teams. Okay, Girard, competition, let's face it, isn't very good, so they haven't hit
Even
their
Liberty.
stride. Okay, South Range, again, we just don't know. I think Canfield probably has played the best schedule out
Probably,
of everyone.
probably.
Poland probably second. I mean, South Range.
Well,
Girard-
Ursa's probably the toughest
Girard,
schedule.
but Girard, out of the 4 undefeated teams, Girard's opponents, their last 3 opponents are 10 and 12. Okay, I think.
And I love Mark Wade.
Sure.
My gosh.
Well, but again,
And his receiver,
Belsic,
Belsey.
no question. But it's so hard to say whether.
Can they win? Can those two win? Can they win
Who?
games? Wade and Belsic. Can they make Girard a winner?
Sure, they can. I mean,
All the way? No,
well,
not
no,
enough.
No, because
There's just not enough.
Defenses are going to become much better. And again, Girard's offense is here. Their defense is here, in my opinion. Now,
Just outscore everybody,
but again,
possibly.
well, that's what you got to get into. You get into
just-
a track.
yeah, that's
and,
all.
And that's what that's what has
Go
to
with
happen.
Belsic, ride it.
But I don't know if their defense is strong enough to hold teams.
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
And then you get into shootouts. So it's very hard. I don't know. Come the first week of December, are we in Canton covering a team? I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
Tell us about Friday nights at FMJ,
Oh well, Gary. Actually, my schedules and my
because I see you out and then you're gone.
yeah. Well, I go back and do all the tweeting because
Okay.
we have a good network of people. So I've seen enough high school games on Friday. Some of the younger guys go out and do that. We have a lot of interns that go out, but we cover 19 games, and the reason we cover 19 is because that's all we can get in our allotted time. We're not showing just 3 or 4 plays. We're showing about a minute of highlights of each game. It starts in December. It starts actually in January for me because I start compiling the schedules. I have everything done probably by April of games we're going to and matchups. 90% of the work is already done. Scripts are already done.
Wow.
And then as the season progresses, I kind of go back and maybe change a couple of things if I have to for matchups. But
Is it a fire drill at all on
you
Friday
know what?
nights?
It's very calm. people always ask it. How do you do it? And I'm being very honest. I don't know.
You just wing it sometimes.
I mean,
you wing it sometimes.
No, everybody knows what they have to do. We get it done. We're usually done, knock on wood, by 10:20 with all the scores in. So then it's just cutting the video. Everybody knows what they have to do, and they're telling me in my ear, okay, you got 5 minutes, and we're wrapping it up. And we're in our 24th year. We've covered over 5,000 games. And we have a good net with social media now. Those things, it goes right to the internet after we're done. I mean, it's posted within 20 minutes. And we get a great response of it. And Gary, what we're most proud of, we don't take any commercial interruptions. It's 21.
That's awesome.
It's 21 minutes of high school highlights.
That's awesome.
And again, we've won numerous awards from it.
Is that 21 coincidental?
Well,
That's-
we started with 12. Okay, then we went to 16. Then it was 18. And then it was 21. And
That works
my boss came to me and says, "You guys just want the whole half hour." And I said, "Well, if you give us the whole half hour, we're going to have to add some people, and we're going to have to add, and again, that just it was just
21's a good
yeah,
number.
it wasn't- so when we started this in 1994, we were covering 12 games, and we were going about 10 minutes, and then we expanded it to 16, and then we expanded it to 18, and then finally 21. I don't know if we could expand it anymore.
And that's good though. That's your 21. That's
Yeah,
yours.
and we cover 19 games, so there's about 10 to 11 games that we don't cover. But something again, in the summertime we cover every school. We go to every camp from Wellsville to Lakeview,
Yeah.
from Mercer County to West
Brookville,
Branch.
yeah.
We cover every team. So I treat Sebring, Leetonia as I would treat Harding.
It's hard to treat Sebring
Well, but
that
you know
way.
what I'm saying. No,
No offense, but
we treat everyone
factual.
fairly. By week, I think this year by week 4, we shot every team in the viewing area at least one time.
Wonderful.
And that's something that we try to do.
And that's
we
what we
try
try
to
to do here
Absolutely.
with this, bringing the kids in.
We try to promote it and again we've won numerous awards from the AP and the Cleveland Press Club on what we do.
Now, was our good friend Pat Saunders around
Yeah,
when he
Pat
started?
Pat started it with our
And you were just
with our general manager.
you were
John
just a
Burdick.
reporter?
Yeah, and they kind of had this idea, and then if you remember, in 1994 we also started our Sunday show, Inside High School Football.
Yeah.
And again, we just felt we stopped that in 2004, and it's hard to believe it's been 13 years.
Really?
And the reason we stopped it, Gary, was
Wow.
because
I remember watching that.
yeah, and we used to mic coaches.
Yeah.
We used to mic
Yes.
referees. We mic'd the player.
Yeah, it's a great show.
You know, and that gave people a lot of insight. But what was happening was, when we expanded to 18 minutes, the 18 minutes we were doing on Friday, we were getting 19 minutes on Sunday. So basically, we're just repeating it. We got involved with the YSU show in 2004, so we felt it was the best. And that was my decision. After talking it over with,
And that's a credible decision.
But we felt Inside High School Football kind of ran its course.
Okay.
We still get questions about it though. 14 years later,
Yeah.
we still get questions about it. And I still wear T-shirts, that have it. But it was a good run, and coaches asked us, and fans would call us, say, "What happened to that show?" And Gary, was so popular that at that time NBC had the NFL, which began at noon. And we did our show from 12 to 12:30 and preempted the NFL pregame show. So it was very popular. Then you may recall during the playoffs we'd go live. We'd record it on Saturday, okay, for air on Sunday. But during the playoffs we'd go to a different school on Sunday
Yes,
morning.
that'd be great.
And that was unbelievable.
That is.
The first year in 1994. I was at West Branch and Pat was at McDonald because they both went to the finals.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
We were at the Southern Park Mall when Lisbon won, so we used to go. But now with the internet and stuff, I mean, people could see that stuff right now. So and it was a good.
And if you
decision.
missed the highlights, you could see the highlights later.
Absolutely. On our website,
It's a good thing.
WFMJ.com.
Now-
So that was fun to do.
Now, you've been around a while. Just a little background, Dana, if you will.
I mean,
Hubbard,
when I was in high school, I was stringing for the Vindicator,
which
something-
I did as well.
something that I wanted to do. Went to Kent State for a year and a half, transferred to Youngstown, kind of got working at FMJ Radio in 1985, was doing play-by-play games,
Whoa.
high school games on radio. And, then when radio sold, I went into TV news for 2 years. And then in 91, I started doing sports and have been doing sports ever since. But, I had some great opportunities. I mean, to do YSU games, we were able to do that. I did my first YSU game probably in 1991. Playoff game, Unidome. YSU wins 19-7. Wilkins kicks a 57-yarder at the
Wow.
Unidome. It's just stuff like that, and now things have changed so much with that, with ESPN and all that stuff.
Did you imagine any of this at Hubbard High School back in the day?
No, but I knew what I wanted to do. And
Were you an athlete at all?
no, I was kind of involved with the football team doing their statistics and stuff. So
you're
I used
part
to,
of it.
I used to see like
You were
Jim
Ron
Cam-
Potesta,
Yeah, I used
if
to
you
see
will.
like Jim Campbell and
Sure.
and Steve Meckling and those guys coming
my
in.
brother
and-
Chuck, probably.
and yeah, but they would come in and do the radio games, and he kind of try to help them out, and then it just got a bug, and now 28 years or 27 years in sports, 33 years later, want to slow down a little bit.
Great career.
Want to slow? Yeah, I've seen a lot. I mean, I've seen World Series, Super Bowls, Kelly Pavlik. I mean, I would not trade that in.
So, do you have a Browns Steelers preference? Do you allow yourself to do that?
I don't like the Steelers at all.
You don't?
People know. No.
Okay,
Gary,
good.
what happened one year
Good.
when Pittsburgh was making a run of the Super Bowl
Yeah.
in 2005.
Yeah.
Every Friday, I would wear colors of the opposing team they were playing, hoping to jinx them. So some people caught on to that. They said, keep wearing those colors, and that's when Pittsburgh went to the Super Bowl and beat Seattle. So, no, I'm not a Steeler fan, and people know that. I don't fake to be one. I hope they lose every game.
There we go.
And being a Browns fan is tough, but
It's
you know,
tough, but
hopefully-
that's who we are.
Hopefully, better days are.
The thing I get, Dana, the thing I get most, and we're kind of getting on a tangent real quick, is I want to watch the Browns on my TV because I live in Ohio and I want to watch. I don't care if I'm halfway between Pittsburgh and move to Pittsburgh if you want to watch the Steelers. That's my only gripe because they're front runners. That's all they are.
When NBC had the NFL, we got into those same problems.
I know you got to do it or whatever.
You could do what you want. Let me just.
You
leave
could
it
do
at
what
that.
you want. You don't have to.
When NBC
Then
had the
the NFL doesn't mandate that you do it.
let's just say, in the
They suggest
experiences, when NBC had the NFL games on Sunday afternoon, you were able to pick the game you wanted to show.
So why should I want to watch Steelers? And I live in Ohio and I'm a Buckeye. clearly. Even though I
Penguin,
like
you're a
shades of
Penguin.
hair, Penguin, Buckeye, whatever, admittedly. And I don't want to watch Steelers. This ain't I live in Ohio. I want to watch my team. That's my only gripe now. Because I know you're not going to win that battle. There's too many front runners. That's all there. Why else would you root for Pittsburgh? Because you're a front runner. You grew up that way. You know, I don't know.
I don't know. It's difficult. I went to see when first Browns game as a fan. I went in 13 years when they played the Bengals. Took my wife and daughter their first NFL game, and they asked
This year?
Yeah, a week ago. They asked, "Do we have to come back?"
Oh well. So let's get. What's Youngstown State going to do? Let's wrap up here.
Well, this will be a tough challenge. I think they're a playoff team. I think they make a run to the postseason. It just depends where they land, Gary, in the bracket.
Is North Dakota State?
They're the real deal. They're the real deal.
Offensively, even
they're
too?
the real deal. Defensively, I mean, they got a good running back in Lance Dunn. They're the entire package.
So we're the underdog, basically.
Oh, I would think so.
Without
I don't
question.
think there's any secret about
But we're defending, not national champions, but we're in the championship game.
And the team that beat
We got no
the
respect
team,
out of it all?
The team that beat North Dakota State, James Madison beat North Dakota State at North Dakota State, then beat YSU 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. So I think YSU's a playoff team. I think this year maybe an 8-3. I mean, they may stumble again down the road.
But they get in, have a chance.
I think so.
You see the pieces there.
And that's surprising because after what they lost last year to running back with Webb and Ruiz, I didn't think so. But I think they're better. I think they're offensively. I think they're a little bit better. Tevin McCaster from Newcastle, I thought, did a great job.
And
I think
his backups,
I think
good kid.
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, his name escapes me. But I think the big question is defensively for this team, and I still think there's some questions with the secondary. But again, that's what the season's for, to get better.
Now we lost Moss and Rivers, but is Ford the real deal? I don't know his name.
Justice Reed. Now, Justice Reed came from Florida, suffered a separated shoulder Saturday. I asked Coach Bo today, and he says he's 50-50. So to play against, they'll need him. He's their best pass rusher.
Hate to put you on the spot, but the Steubenville kid, what is your?
Well, and again, I think this is a situation that everybody has an opinion on. He paid his debt to society, obviously.
Legally.
Obviously, there was a petition. That all came out. Gary, my question with that is where's the kid most dangerous? Is he most dangerous on a football field, or is he most dangerous walking on campus? So, with all due respect, and
He's got a peer group now that is going to keep him in line.
This can't happen, though. But the petition, if people really, the petition should not have wanted him in school. I'm not saying I wanted that, but he's most vulnerable or most likely to have a relapse walking through campus, not in a structured.
I agree.
Not structured in a football program. You feel bad for the kid. You feel bad for the victim. It's not a win situation for anybody. So, it's.
Did Bo need that at all?
Well, I think Bo handled it the best he could, and Bo answered the question last week, and I think he felt a lot better. I think he got it out of his system, and I think he spent 6 minutes talking about that without interruption. So I just think it's a sad situation for everyone involved, and everyone has an opinion on it, and leave it at that.
Are you surprised that Trussell let this happen?
Well, I think the president probably was under some pressure, and again, he's the president of the university, but there's a board that runs the university per se. So I'm sure there was some talk there, and he thought he did what he thought was in the best interest, and it went to court and so on and so forth, and the rest is history.
Finally, just to get you on the record, what's the Buckeye season look like in your eyes going forward?
Ohio State?
Yeah, that team.
Oh, that
in
team?
Columbus.
I mean, when they
Can
start
they win
playing,
a Big Ten?
well, is the Big Ten very good?
Well, Penn State,
Okay. Big Ten,
big
that's
game.
one team.
Michigan, Ohio State.
You think Michigan's good?
Not really,
Okay. Michigan
but
State?
they're decent. No, Michigan State's. They're
Okay.
done. Their reign's over.
So my question to you is, does the Big Ten get a team
yes.
in the playoffs?
Yes.
The conference is so bad. So how can that happen?
Because the other conferences are even worse. And Ohio State, Penn State ain't nothing to, and Wisconsin ain't nothing to sneeze at, by the way.
I just think the Big Ten, Gary, I think adding Rutgers and Maryland was a mistake. At the beginning, I thought it was a great idea, but it's been a mistake. For the viable and for the power of the conference, they've done nothing. They're like Edgewood and Jefferson in the All-American Conference.
Oh, jeez. That's punishment there, Dana.
I mean,
The Steelers are out this year. They're done.
I don't know if they're done.
They're done. Put a fork in them.
I mean,
Ben's done.
I hope so.
You think?
But But
Watch he'll bring a backup. They'll be better than
you know,
Sean Kaiser.
I mean, I think
he's such a disappointment, by the way.
And I think part of the problem with the Steelers is I think Todd Haley's not on the same page with anybody, their offensive coordinator. And he
I don't think none of them are on the same page the way they're acting.
If you look
Antonio
at it,
Page,
look if you look at
or
it,
whatever,
yeah,
Brown.
if you look at it though, Antonio Brown, Levy and Bell.
Yeah, all.
I mean, everyone's on it. You're right. Everyone's on it in a
Yeah,
different.
they're all me. Maybe it'll be the downfall still. And the Browns just another year. Can they survive? Can they resurrect their season at all?
If you're going to blow up the front office, not Hugh Jackson.
But they've done it over and over and over again.
If you're going to blow it up, don't blow up Hugh, because look, Hugh Jackson is a coach with NFL head coaching experience, and I know he's 1 in 50 or whatever. But who unless you go outside and bring, who are you going to bring in? Bob Stoops?
No, maybe. Yeah, why not?
But you know what I'm saying?
I agree. I don't. You got to stick with the plan. I guess.
You got to stick with the plan.
I don't know.
Blow up the front office. Blow up Sashi.
Well, you've stuck with your plan for 30-some years, so you're doing quite well, and it's. I've been.
When you
we go back a ways here.
When you do this for such a long time, you know, I think you gain respect and you earn respect like you have, and I think, you know, do we have all the right answers? Are all our opinions right? Are all our picks right? Absolutely not. But I think when you know, show you're human and admit, hey, look, I blew it or I made a mistake, then I think you earn more respect.
Real quick before you go, shout out to Ackelson and Brittany.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job. Our videographer, everybody at our station. We have we have a great management. We have a great staff who lets us do what we want to do. They let me kind of do what I want to do, and you know, we don't miss a beat with things. Local sports is our bread and butter, from golf to whatever. I mean, if it's local state championships, Gary, we're going to recognize those people, and we try to do that.
Do you peek at the other stations, or mainly one other station? I guess you can say.
We're like anything else. We monitor what they're doing, but I don't react to that. I mean, look, they're going to beat us with stuff, and we're going to beat them, and that's what makes competition good. You know, if you're the only show in town, you know, you rest on your laurels, and that's something. You know, here's my philosophy. Tonight's 11 o'clock sportscast better be better than the 6, and tomorrow's 6 got to be better than the 11. We want to get better every day, and we try to do that. I instill that. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to that, and that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
We make mistakes, but hopefully they're not a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, your work shows.
Well, I appreciate that.
It does,
As yours does.
And we appreciate you having that same face there on. I forget how many nights now. Are you still?
Yeah, I mean, and again, they've given me, you know, during football season, I do the 6 and then get home, which is nice.
And today you've done the 6 and then went home?
And I'll go home. Yeah, and that's nice because, you know, my days begin a little bit early, and people think, you know, the biggest thing we get is, oh, you work a half-hour a day. Yeah, you know,
just when we're on.
I mean, phones start ringing at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. Coaches.
Well, I know your phone's blowing up as we're talking here.
Sources call you and let you know what's going on. So, you know, you kind of just, you know, you take it with a grain of salt. And this has made a difference. I don't know if it's bad or good though.
I got to get on your texting line on game night, so give you some scores.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely.
He's Dana Ballish, the dean of area sports, if you will, in this area, and from 21 WFMJ. Thanks for coming down and being a part of the show.
Appreciate it.
And look forward to seeing you on
Keep
Friday
up the
nights.
good work.
Thank you, man. We'll be back with more Yards After Contact from Kelly's Bar, Mahoney Avenue in Youngstown, Ohio.
When you need good quality entertainment for your wedding, private party, or other event, give MVP Entertainment a call at 330-942-2424. We provide quality sound and lighting at great prices. To see what we do, check us out at Coach's Burger Bar in Poland, Ohio on Wednesdays from 6 to 9. On Thursdays, you can see us at Coach's in Salem, Ohio from 7 to 10. And on Sundays, Permani Brothers from 9 to midnight. MVP Entertainment, 330-942-2424.
And welcome back to Kelly's Bar. This is Yards After Contact from Kelly's Bar in Youngstown, Ohio. And with me now is the head coach of the Springfield Local Tigers. Is it Springfield Local? What is it?
Springfield Local.
Okay, because it's, you know, not many people have the local behind them. I don't know if that's just a technical name or whatever. But Sean Guerrero, head coach of the two-loss team right? 2 losses to start the season. 3 losses.
We have three.
3. So 4-3.
Yes,
But you come off a big win over Western Reserve.
we did. Our kids responded. I mean, we kind of have a slow start in playing. South Range and Brookfield up front. I think we let one go with Brookfield. They're a good
Brookfield,
team,
yeah.
but we had 3 turnovers. We had a ton of penalties that game. I think that was kind of just putting us behind where we couldn't end up fighting our way out. So
And who's
with
the
that,
third
then
loss?
we just lost to McDonald,
Oh,
which was week
Yeah.
5, I think.
yeah, okay.
So our kids have responded to that, and they've really fought back the past 2 weeks, and they've been practicing well and starting to maybe pay a little bit more attention to detail, but they've done a great job, and it definitely ended up paying off maybe in the past Friday.
Did you feel you were an underdog going into this game?
I don't know if I felt we were an underdog, but I knew our kids. I knew our kids had to rise to the occasion. I don't think we played up to our potential yet this season, and our kids came out, the past Friday and ended up, just coming out with a lot of energy and ended up, playing their potential, playing like I thought we could. But it definitely paid off in practice. You saw it on Monday, and the past week of practice. That's something that we have to end up replicating, for the rest of the season.
Now, I know you're going to tell me one game at a time, and Middle Ridge is next, which should be a victory for you. Do you allow yourself to look beyond that? Are you setting yourself up for the playoffs in any way? Do you kind of crunch the numbers to see what you need to do? And
Right now,
who you
it's
need
kind
help
of out
from?
of our hands. So that's something you don't want to end up happening. But for ourselves, we're going to end up challenging ourselves for Middle Ridge, and we just got to make sure that we get better every day. That's something that I talked to the kids about. We got to make sure we're challenging ourselves. From Monday through Thursday, because that's when you're going to get better. It's not just going to come on Friday night. So we do have to make sure that we continue to get better in case we do get a chance for Week 11.
Now, are league championships important, or is the playoffs really the big prize that you're
Well,
looking at?
I think right now, if you end up contending for a league championship, you're going to put yourself in a position to end up making playoffs. So that's something that we do focus on, and that's something for our kids to end up looking forward to and end up playing. So yeah, we talk about it a lot at the beginning of the season, and we still stress it right now. I think last week before we played Western Reserve, if we would have lost it, we wouldn't even have the opportunity. So we did
Sure.
talk about it to be able to to try to end up sharing it, because with Western Reserve and McDonald, they have two great programs that have kind of dominated the past league in the prior years. So it was something our kids want to end up coming out and fighting for, and they did that.
What worked for you well? I mean, what is working for you well now?
Well, I think we established our running game a little bit. Up front, our guys played tremendous. Offensively and defensively. I don't know what got into them. Like I said, I think we challenged our kids a little bit. They tried to end up stepping it up, and they did. With having Luke Snyder, he rushed for 190. And it helps out if you can control the ball and do those things. He popped a couple long runs, and then we have some people. Garrett Walker, I think, hit a jet sweep for over 50 yards. Brandon Walters, Evan Owen are 2 wideouts that have done some great things with Austin Trabella. So I do think we have a good mixture of people. Offensively, which it's hard to defend us, I think.
Now, one of the 2 guys you brought with you tonight, one of them's father is Mark Brungard, former coach at Poland. How has that relationship worked out now that he's on your staff?
Mark's a good person. It was one thing I knew Mark when I was a